Jayo Ram Madhavo Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhavo Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhavo Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tera Vanachari Yamuna Tera Vanachari Yamuna Tera Vanachari Yamuna Tera Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Yamuna Tera Vanachari Yamuna Tera Yamuna Tera Vanachari Yamuna Tera Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha. O Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Yamuna Tera Vanachari Yamuna Yamuna Tera Vanachari Yamuna Tera Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava O Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava. Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai. So, as you have heard, I take birth in Ticino, South Switzerland. So my mother tongue is Italian. You will feel my accent. I am sorry for this. I hope you will understand my poor English. So the title of the conference today is The Six Enemies of the Mind. So it seems that we have some enemies very near to us, not so much dear, but near. And we will discover all together who they are. And I'm taking inspiration by one text written by Srila Narottam Das Thakura in his book that is called Sri Prema Bhakti Chandrika. So, and today actually is the appearance day of Narottam Das Thakura. So it's a festivity for us because he's a saintly person in the lineage of our gurus, spiritual master, and this tradition in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya to remember these saints, like they do other religion also the Christians, they remember the Catholic, they remember the saints. And actually it's interesting because when Damodar Prasad Prabhu, the temple president of Zurich, he called me a few weeks ago and he asked me on which topic I would like to speak today. It come to me very spontaneous, and I say, yeah, why not the six enemies of the mind? And today is the day that remind us Narottam Das Thakur, and he wrote something about these six enemies. So nothing is by chance. And so let's go to the text. the 6 enemies, lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, and envy, and the 5 senses of sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, reside in my body, but I am unable to control them. Although I hear and understand repeatedly that one should serve Krishna with all his senses, still I cannot accept this fact with firm determination. Of course, Srila Narottam Das Thakur is an exalted personality. The level of bhakti we cannot even understand. His spontaneous love to Krishna is so high. And this morning, one lady, Mataji, she was giving a very nice class explaining how Srila Narottam Das Thakur received all this mercy from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly, that he practically dive in the love of Krishna by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what he say here is saying for our benefit. He's so humble that he say he's feeling this, but he's above to this. And we should just understand what he's saying to us, because it will be very helpful in our spiritual life if we can apply this, especially the principle that he's giving, because we will go to discover one by one these enemies, and then we will see what we can do to avoid, because Srila Narottam Das Thakur is explaining us how we can deal with these enemies. So this is very interesting. No? So we have these enemies in one side, but then to the other side it is explained how we can deal with these enemies. And this actually is the practice of Bhakti Yoga, is so wonderful that there is always some solution for everything. No? So, but by saying this, Narottam Das Thakur also awards us that we have to be careful in not trusting so much to our mind. Because the mind, it is said, is unstable. The mind is always flickering. And the Vedas, they are comparing the mind. There is a word called chanchala. Chanchala means jumping, like monkeys. Monkeys, they are always jumping from one tree to another, from one branch to another. So the mind is like this, you know. You are looking something, and then immediately the mind is going already to something else. You are thinking something, and the mind immediately is going to something else. You are eating something, but at the same time the mind is already thinking something else. Your mind is always flickering, chanchala, jumping. So we have to be very careful. It's unstable, the mind. And due to this instability, she can give way to enemies at any moment. Any moment, these enemies that we will discover, that we read already, they can take away in our mind. And finally, we have to understand that the mind is always accompanied by these 6 enemies. They are already always there, ready to come in and influence us. So, who they are, these enemies? In Sanskrit, we can find in Bhagavad Gita, it is also explained, is kama, lust. Krodha is anger. And Lobha is greed. And then we have moha, is illusion. And then we have mada. Mada means pride, or sometimes it's also called madness. And then the last one is envy. So these are the 6 enemies of the mind, already accompanying us on this level, on the level of the mind. So we can go through one by one. So lust. Lust what means? Lust means the tendency of control and enjoy. There is this tendency in us. We want to control everything, we want to control everyone, and we want to enjoy from everything, and we want to enjoy everyone. This unfortunately is a bad influence, because we know that the supreme controller is Krishna. Only Krishna can control everything and everyone. We are infinitesimal. We are just a small spark. We have some control and we have some right of enjoying, but it's very small. But we think, due to the other influences, we will see, that we are big controller and we are big enjoyer. So this is lust. And lust and desire, they are not only, sometimes when we think about lust, we think to opposite sex. No. When I was just thinking, often we see, I don't know how much in Zurich you see this, but in some country you see men, then when some nice woman walk in the street, they, how is this, whistle, we say in English, whistle, we say, like this, you know. You've seen already? Yeah, so because they are catched by lust, they want to enjoy. But lust is not only this. No? Lust is really this tendency to control. And finally, it brings to the assumption that we can take the place of Krishna, that we can be God, we can be the supreme controller, we can be the supreme enjoyer. So lust, it can go very deep and influences our mind in this way. It's very dangerous. And we have to be careful. So let's go to the next, this anger. Why come anger? Anger comes because we cannot enjoy and control everything. It's not possible for us. And then there is a nice verse in Bhagavad Gita that is explained a little bit this, how from lust it comes anger. No. This verse says, Jyato Vishayan Pumsha Shangat Teshu Prajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamat Krodha Vijayate. Kamat Krodha. From lust, kama, come krodha, anger. And he says, by contemplating the object of senses, we develop attachment. Now we contemplate something and we develop the attachment to enjoy. No. And from this attachment, we develop the desire to enjoy, as we say. But because often we cannot enjoy, then anger comes. Anger comes from this. Because we desire to enjoy something and we cannot do. Let's see, for example, I'm just not to do always the same example of women and men, but let's see, I'm looking some book where it is show new cars. No? Maybe lady they are not so much on this, but men they are more. No, you know, looking, oh, so nice this model and so nice this. I would like to have, and you know, yes, I want to have. I want to go with this car, and this the mind go quick. No, make some plan. How I can enjoy by going this car, and then I count. I take out my book account, and then I'm looking and say, I have not enough money. Anger come. No, I want to enjoy, but I cannot. Why I cannot? Why my boss is not paying me more? You know, I deserve more. I'm working so much. You know, I need more money because I want to buy the car, and some anger come. So we can make so many examples. You are all intelligent people. You understand what it means, no? Anger comes from lust. If we cannot satisfy this lust, then anger came. So very dangerous. Because in another verse of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explained how anger can become very dangerous, can destroy relation between people, and can destroy even things. We can do wars due to the influence of anger. No? We can see our days. No? So anger brings to destruction. Very dangerous. So then we have this greed. Greed can be a synonymous of greed, can be also eagerness. No? And this again, no, greed, the desire to enjoy this sense gratification. No? We are greedy for sense gratification. And sense gratification we see that often bring to us some problems. For example, I don't know, someone who is drinking alcohol and he become addicted to alcohol, then he gets so many problems. Physical problems, mental problems, social problems, and so many things. And he know that it's not good for me to drink alcohol, but still he go on to drink alcohol. No. So this eagerness is something itching that bring you, to go on, although you know that it's not so good. I discovered that there is a say in Japan. They say that men take alcohol, then alcohol take alcohol, and then finally alcohol take the men. You understand? First one start to drink alcohol, then by drinking alcohol, then alcohol take to bring more alcohol. And then finally the alcohol take the men. I was thinking it's a nice say to share with you. So this sense gratification, this also greedy sometimes is understood also as an intoxication, because sense gratification is the higher intoxication in this material world. When we spoke about intoxication, sometimes we take things about drugs. There are light drugs and heavy drugs. No? Like, you can become addicted to drink coffee or tea, light drugs. But then there are more drugs, don't need to make a class on drugs, that they become addicted, to depend on this. And although, again, you know that this is not good, you're going on to take. No? Why? Because this is the nature of intoxication. More you intoxicate yourself, and more you desire for intoxication. So sense gratification, it brings you to go on. No ending. No ending. We have seen so many sin, pitiable sin of people addicted to sense gratification, that is really painful to see how they become in life. No? So for this, greed can also be understood as an intoxication. Then we have this illusion, or bewilderment, as we say, or confusion. Illusion brings to confusion. Illusion, it comes from Maya. Maya is the is the one who is giving illusion to us, and we become illuded in so many ways in our life. But one of the biggest illusions is to think that we are this body and to act to solve the problem of the body. It's a big illusion to think that we can solve the main problems of humankind. What are the main problems for humankind? They are disease, old age, death, and birth. Why? Because this is the natural development of this body. The body will become sick. The body will become old. The body will die. And finally, when we die, we have to take birth again. If we are not able to go back from where we are coming, from the spiritual world, if we are not able to go back there, then we have to take birth again. So, and since time immemorial, people that they are living in illusion, they think to solve this problem. And they advocate also, they are making big propaganda that they will solve this problem. We will not be sick anymore. We will not become old anymore. Take this cream, special cream, you are not becoming any more old. Take these pills, you will not become sick. No. And finally, we are almost discovering how we will live forever. It's not possible. This is another kind of madness. People, they are very confused on this. We cannot solve. So this illusion to be this body, it comes from the mind. And if we let this illusion go in our mind, we will lose our life. We will lose this big opportunity. We got this human body, it's very important, because with this human body, we can go back from where we are coming. We can go back to the spiritual world. Only in the human form we can do this. 8,400,000 species of life, it is explained in Bhagavad Gita. And from this, only 400,000 they are human forms. So it's a small percentage. And if we are not using properly, we don't know which kind of body we will get next life. Or where we will be. We can become maybe one rat. We can become maybe one, fish or bird or some species of life that live very shortly. Or some species of life that they are living very suffering conditions for a long time. So, this illusion is very powerful. Can make us to waste the opportunity that we got. And sometimes we think, this is another big illusion. I'm still young. It will go fast. My dear devotees, we have to learn that it's not under our control how long we will live. It can be tomorrow. It can be in 1 week, in 1 month. Just last week, I used to be in contact regularly with one devotee, and we used to have a meeting regularly every every week reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he didn't come to the meeting on Zoom. And then I was thinking strange, because normally he's writing when he cannot come. It's very personal, always writing. Then I wrote to him in the evening, and he didn't write me back. Anyway, then the day after, in the morning, I phoned to him, didn't pick up. Afternoon, no get answer from his message, no phone back. Then I have some feeling, I say, boss, something happened here. So then I decide, although it was out of my way, I decide to go to see what happened. And when I arrived there, I ring, nobody answered. Then I see was a light upstairs. I ring that light, I say, sorry to disturb you, but I am looking for my friend since 2 days, and he's not answering. And she say, he died. He left the body. Wow, I was completely shocked. Although I know that it can be one moment, but when you are in front of this, but remind me, just a few days ago we were talking together, and from one moment to another, and he was completely healthy, no some disease, or he just got one heavy heart attack, and he was going like this. The face was nice. He was looking with the eyes little closed, little smile. So he left in a nice way. Usually it is like this for devotees. Not in a painful way, but just to remind us, we can leave the body from one moment to another. So this is another illusion that we have to be careful. So then the next one is pride. Pride is also compared to madness, is another kind of madness. No. What is this pride? My and I. We have always this conviction that me, always when we are speaking, because me, or my this, my that, And this is pride. Make you very proud of yourself. And more you become proud, more you become puffed up, we say in ISKCON language. Puffed up means, you're really puffed up. There is a nice story that the Veda tell about one Professor Frog. So Professor Frog was in his pond, and he was very learned. And then once a young frog, how they are young, they want to see something else. So he went out from the pond. And then he reached the border of the sea. And then he was, wow, so much water, Then he came back to the pond. And then he told to Professor Frog, I have seen one extension of water. It was so much water. And the professor say, how much big? Like this pond? And he say, no, more big. And then he say, 2 times this pound? He said, no, much more big. 3 times this pound? No, much more big. Oh, 6 times, no, much more big. And then he was, because by his knowledge, he was so proud about his knowledge, that he know everything. He could not figure out how much was big, And then he become more and more puffed up, like we said before. And finally he explodes. Poof. So this is the story. I think it's a nice story to understand. We have to be careful about our proudness, because often proud people, they explode. Anyway. Yeah, how they expose people. So I'm witnessing in these last months, I have to go regularly to old age houses because my parents, they are there now. And I observe old people. When I am there, I observe. And I see that many, they are really suffering due to this pride. They become so much pride, and they build up their life according to me and I. And then when you come a certain age, that the body, the senses, and everything don't respond anymore like before, then this illusion that we said before come down. And this kind of madness, it really make you mad. Unfortunately, I see so many that they are not anymore reasoning. They are just speaking nonsense, they are doing nonsense things, and madness. So we really need to become educated at young age in order not to go to be influenced by these enemies of the mind. Otherwise, again, we will waste our life. And then the last one is envy. And envy is the worst of these 6 enemies. Why? Because envy is the cause of our stay in this material world. If we are still here in this material world, it's due to envy. For this is the worst one. And also because is the worst, because all the other we can find some adjustment to purify them. But envy you cannot purify. For this is the worst. Envy to what? Originally, our enviousness is toward Krishna. Why? We say before, we want to be God. We want to be the enjoyer. We want to be the controller. But it's not possible. And then we say, why Krishna? Why not me? And this is why we are in this material world. And if we are not giving up this envy, then we will remain here. So of course, sometimes when we are speaking about these topics, if we are spiritualists and we are practicing some spiritual life, we think, okay, this is for, we call them karmic, people that they are practicing karma, they are not interested in spiritual life. But actually it's not like this. No? Narottam Das Thakur say we have to be careful also as a spiritualist. No? Although the mind may be merged in spiritual consciousness, we try to be more merged in spiritual consciousness, one should always be very careful in dealing with it, just as one is careful in dealing with a snake, it is said. So, dealing or joking or with a snake is very dangerous. You can try, you can do if you're, but the snake, it can bite you quickly and you don't realize. So same is dealing with our mind. We think that we can control the mind. We think that with my practice I can control the mind. But actually, when we are thinking like this, is already the mind controlling us. So one should never think that his mind is trained and that he can do whatever he likes. And in order to understand how to do, Narottam Das Thakur talks about how we can engage these enemies of the mind in the practice of Bhakti Yoga, in the practice of devotional service. So we can engage, and now maybe you will think, how is possible to engage lust and anger and greed and illusion in the practice of Bhakti Yoga? So I say before, Bhakti Yoga is so nice and so perfect, then everything can be engaged. We have just to learn how to do. And here Narottam Das Thakur is helping us to find a way. So, how we can engage or dovetail, it is said, lust, by engaging the fruits of our endeavor in Krishna's service. So when we are influenced by lust, we want to enjoy things. We see everything for our enjoyment. But actually, we have first of all to understand that everything belongs to Krishna, don't belong to us. And what belongs to Krishna has to be offered to Him. And when we learn to use things in the service of Krishna, in offering to Him, then this lust will become purified. Because we will not be anymore so eager to enjoy, but we will become eager to offer to Krishna. When we become purified from lust influences, then the desire to offer to Krishna will increase. And actually also because by offering to Krishna we will receive some benefits. What are the benefits? We will be more happy, for example. Because happiness is not in how much we are collecting and how much we can enjoy life, because we have seen before, this will bring many problems. No? The real happiness comes when Krishna is happy. If Krishna is happy, then we become also happy. And also we will be more so much in illusion that we are this body, but we will realize more our spiritual nature as a spirit souls, happiness and knowledge. We will understand much more what's going on around us. And our eternity. More and more we will realize the nature of the soul as eternal. So, and when you have these feelings that arise again in us, then we will feel more satisfied, and then we will desire to do more for Krishna. Because this is the spiritual nature. Spiritual nature is that if we are giving to Krishna, then we will receive much more. If we do one step toward Krishna, Krishna will do more steps toward us. And there is not a formula. It depends on our sincerity in our endeavor. So this is the way to engage lust in the service of Krishna. By offering what already belongs to Him, to the Lord. And slowly we will give up this false, lusty desire to think that we are the enjoyer and we are the controller. Then anger. Now come anger. How we can engage anger in the practice of devotional service? And this is a very delicate point. Oh, I was thinking that a spiritualist, he should never become anger. How is it possible that the spiritualists become anger? Then Narottam Das Thakur says, anger can be engaged by using it against those who criticize or offend the Lord and His devotees. If we are using anger toward those that they are offending or abusing the devotee, Krishna, spiritual master, then our material anger will become purified. I know that your mind is, what this, So we have a nice example Scripture gives in Ramayana. Ramayana, the story of Sita Rama, and there is Hanuman. So Hanuman jumped to Lanka, and then in Lanka he brings the message to Sita that Rama is just to the other side and is waiting for you. Please come with me. I will bring you back to Rama. Then Sita, no. She say Rama should come himself. And then when they were discussing like this, and then the guard, they catch Hanuman. And then they bound him with ropes and they bring him in front of Ravana. And Ravana, very proud person, finally he want to give a lesson to Hanuman, and he gave order to light his tail. Put fire in his tail. And he was bound completely, could not. But Hanuman is not an ordinary person or an ordinary monkey. He's not a monkey. But he showed himself in this form. Then he started to jump around Lanka, and with his tail he burned all Lanka. And he was very angry when he did this. He was very angry. So he used his anger in the service of Lord Ramachandra. This is the example that give the scriptures. So we don't need to burn now. Someone is criticizing, Krishna. Then okay, I take the example of Hanuman and burn up your house. No, but we can, with determination, with some, we are not so happy if someone is insulting Krishna. Then we can explain him with straightforward words how this is wrong and why it is wrong. And we show him that we are upset with what you are saying. For example. And sometimes devotee, they can show this anger, but it's not for them. Normal, you remember, we are angry because we cannot enjoy something and then we become angry like this. No, devotee is not angry because he cannot enjoy something. He's angry because you spoke so bad about Krishna, or about the scriptures, or about the devotees. Then I'm angry for this. No? Without insulting, but we can explain in a nice way. So and like this we become purified from our anger. Then, greed. So we say greed is also synonymous of eagerness. So we can engage greed by always being greedy for Krishna's devotional service, greedy to hear topics about Krishna. So there is some greediness on this. When we advance in spiritual life, for example, when you become attached to see the deities, in the morning when it opens the curtains, you must be here. You want to be here. you want to be here to greet the Lord. When it's open, you say, I'm here. So this, and sometimes, maybe the alarm clock didn't ring, or I don't know, some problem. I went to the bathroom and it was occupied, and I have to wait, and then some eagerness came. I want to be down, and then you start to run, and then this is eagerness. Or I don't know, one devotee is speaking about one topic, and I want to go to listen, and then on the way there is traffic jam, and then I feel some anxiety. I am not there on time, and this is eagerness, to go and participate, to be there, So this is sane eagerness. If we are docile, means diverting this eagerness toward Krishna, then we become purified by the material eagerness. Okay? Then there is illusion or bewilderment. We remember that illusion is due to the attachment to material things. Narottam Das Thakur say, can be purified by becoming attached to Krishna. So Maya is the illusion, and if we look always toward Maya, then Maya is influencing us by the illusion, if we are looking Maya. But if we look toward Krishna, then spiritual energy will influence us, and not the illusion. So like this, the illusion will become purified. Like I remember once in a class, a spiritual master, a guru say, Maya, we want to become free from Maya, but sometimes we don't let go Maya. And he say, it's like a tree. And then we are embracing the tree, and then we say, let me go, let me go, let me go. And we are embracing the tree. Same as with Maya. We are embracing Maya, and he said, let me go, let me go. But you're looking Maya, and Maya is influencing you. If you want to become free, you have to look toward Krishna. Okay. Then pride. We become purified by pride. By being proud of Krishna, his opulences, and the mercy of Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas. So, Krishna did so many nice things. If you are reading Krishna book, Krishna did so many wonderful things. And as a devotee, we should be proud about Krishna. My Krishna. Like Mother Yashoda, she's so proud about his son. And the gopis, they are so proud about Krishna. This is the mood of the devotee. We are proud of the Lord. But we must know the Lord. More and more we know the pastimes of the Lord, and more we will develop this attitude to be proud of Krishna. And to be proud of Krishna is good. It purifies us to be proud of our so-called deeds. Actually, we did nothing, but we are so proud about this, And why Narottam Das Thakur say also, and the mercy of Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas? Yeah, because they are so merciful. Guru is coming to save us from the spiritual world, is coming here, and is taking so many difficult tasks in this material world to save us. And is doing incredible things that we are not able to do. So if we are proud to the deeds of our Guru, this is good. It brings us purification. And same is the Vaishnavas, the devotees. We should be proud to be part of this movement. Because this movement is doing so much to try to spread this message, to spread Krishna consciousness. And devotees, they are really striving to do this. Now, once they asked to Srila Prabhupada, but what they are doing, the devotees? They are not working? And Prabhupada looked at them, he say, my disciples, they are working 24 hours per day. Very proud of his devotee. 24 hours per day. And then he went on to explain. You know, most of the devotees here, they get up 3 o'clock in the morning. Who is getting up 3 o'clock in the morning to go to work? No one? Yes. And they will go, and all day they are doing service. And materially speaking, is hard work. Like after, soon will be a feast for every one of you, for every one of us. I will also take something. And devotee, they work hard to do cooking for 50, 100 people. It takes some endeavor. We have here our great cook, Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu is hiding there. You know what it means to be in the kitchen. But this is also a big house, need cleaning. You know, today 2 Sunday program. This is one. Before you there was already another one with again 50, 60, 70 people I've seen was here. So they have to cook already before, they have to clean up the kitchen, they have to clean up everything because everyone was eating and, you know, so many things around, and empty the garbage and everything. And so much work. Of course, for devotees not work, it's service. But for devotees it's 24 hours. So we should be proud of the Vaishnava. We should be proud of the devotee, of this movement. Okay? I have to. So, lust, pride, greed, anger, and illusion can be directed or engaged in the service of Krishna. However, as we said before, envy cannot be dovetailed, cannot be engaged in the service of Krishna. Why? We cannot be envious of somebody and use it for Krishna's service. Material envy is with malice. When we are envious in the material world, we want to put others down. We want to either do better than others or achieve something better than them. And the way we do it is by diminishing what they are doing. So this is the attitude of envy, if we become envious. So we have to completely uproot this negative emotion to fully appreciate spiritual emotions and relish pure Krishna consciousness. So if we want to relish pure Krishna consciousness and let come out this spiritual emotion, we have to uproot this negative emotion of envy. Really uproot. And how we do? So now I come to the conclusion. One interested in spiritual life should always engage his mind in the service of the Lord, so that the enemies of the mind, we know now who they are, who always accompany the mind, will be subdued. And chanting the Hare Krishna mantra engages the mind at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna constantly. Thus the mind's enemies do not have a chance to strike. This is the way. We should try to engage these enemies in the service of Krishna. And envy, remember, we have to uproot. And the Ma mantra is helping us to engage these enemies in the service of Krishna and to uproot the enviousness tendency. Okay, I am ending now. Sorry. Okay, we want to chant all together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you for your patience to allow me to say something for my purification. and I hope that now that I understand something more, I will apply in my life. And time is over, right? Time is over, so no time for questions or comments. Or
so if someone wants to ask, then...
Okay. I know that you've become eager to go and take Krishna Prasad. And that's nice. It's very nice. Like to say something?
Just we want to say a big thank you to Bhaktya Labhya Prabhu. His Grace Bhaktya Labhya Prabhu ki jai.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai. So and now we want you to engage in devotional service, engage all your enemies in taking prasadam. And as was also said, there's always many things to do also in other ways to serve Krishna. For example, today you can help in the kitchen. We usually clean up the kitchen very nicely on a Sunday evening, and it's always a lot of fun. So if you're inspired, meet us at 6 in the kitchen. And also, as we heard before, there's a lot of work or service invested in the prasadam, in the cooking of the feast. So we encourage everyone to give small donation, whatever you can, so that we can continue serving the prasadam. Usually we say around 10 francs is whatever you can give, that will be service to Krishna and to all the Vaishnavas present, so we can continue on doing this Sunday feasts. So thank you very much for coming. At 6:15 also there will be the Japa workshop happening here, so be back for that. Hare Krishna.
Okay, then next time, promise you I will speak not so long and give you time for questions. Hare Krishna.
And also, Prabhu will be here now. If you have any urgent questions, please do not hesitate to approach him.
Then come later on.
Sorry, sorry.
Kapitel